Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of A Niger Man's Perspective. Just a couple of hours ago, I heard that the US Secret Service Director has resigned. You would recall that I did a video on the attempted assassination of ex-President Trump a few days ago. And I was going to do another video, but I'm still trying to piece out what is what. Everyone's saying different things. Some people are saying it's a setup. Some people are saying it was a failure of security, which I alluded to in that video. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to put that video down in the description below. Let's watch this House Oversight Committee hearing on the U.S. Secret Service Director, and then I'll give my reaction to this in the middle and towards the end. Let's get into it.
You have with members of Congress. We have a lot more questions. The American people are demanding that we get answers to those questions, and that's what the purpose of this hearing is today. So I'm sure a lot of the questions that have already been asked are going to be asked again, and hopefully we can get some answers to those questions. I strongly implore you to answer those questions. You're here with a subpoena, and we expect you to answer the questions. Chair now recognizes Ms. Mace from South Carolina.
So just to give you a bit of context to this, to the questions they're about to ask the U.S. Secret Service Director. In the 9 days that the shooting happened, there have been various questions, like I said earlier, and the director has now been called to the House to explain the version of events, what happened, why was there a failure, how did the shooter get on the roof, was he not checked, what happened to people, the people who said they saw a shooter on the roof, why wasn't that shooter apprehended, why was the shooter allowed to get a couple of shots. Unfortunately, somebody passed on, and a couple of people were also critically injured. So it's not something small at all, but let's get into it.
Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Cheatle, the American people are watching, and they're wondering if there are any questions you can answer honestly today. So, Director Cheatle, I have a series of questions, very specific questions. I want very specific answers. Most of my questions are going to demand a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, my first question. Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter? Yes or no?
What? What kind of opening question is this? This is brutal. Would you like to use the 5 minutes of this question to draft your resignation letter? One would think there was probably something between them, because that's a harsh question, but let's keep watching.
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question. Yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible.
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure? Yes or no?
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent? Yes or no?
I have always been.
Yes or no? You didn't want to answer the question. We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way.
Wow. Wow. You see, I'm going to be a bit cynical, but this is how the Secret Service tend to ask people questions when they're on the other side. So let's say they have a suspect, terrorist suspect or any kind of suspect. This is how they badger witnesses. This is how they badger people, not witnesses. This is how they badger people who are attempted, not suspected to want to harm national security, or in this instance, the Secret Service, kinds of investigations that they do under their purview, they don't allow people to answer. They don't allow people to think. They just ask the question, yes or no, yes or no. So it's crazy. It's crazy. She's not even allowing her to gather her thoughts, just a yes or no question. But I guess this is how these committee hearings take place. This is how the questions are designed to be a simple yes or no question, not to give you any room to meander or politicize the answer. But let's keep watching.
You stated earlier, Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political? Yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Well, that's bullshit. So, Mr. Chairman,
Is that even allowed? Is that even allowed? You have something against her. You have something against her. You have something against her. Now, wow.
I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post, all done at 5:24 a.m., 6:12 a.m., 6:34 a.m., a solid 3 to 4 hours before this committee got your statement.
Without objection to ordered.
Okay. Is the Secret Service fully cooperating with our committee?
Yes.
Okay, you say you're fully cooperating with this committee. On July 15th, this committee sent you a list of demands of information that we wanted. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th? Yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of shit today. You're just being completely
Wow. She said it again.
dishonest. Mr.
Chairman,
Completely dishonest.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, I want to,
I'm
Come
gonna
on.
we have to
continue.
maintain decorum in this committee,
Any-
no matter
have
how
you provided
upset we.
any-
Exactly. How can you be saying full of S twice and no one is saying anything?
All memos to this committee that we've asked you on July 15th. Have you provided all memorandums within the Secret Service?
I would have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. You are being dishonest or lying. Like you're being dishonest here with this committee. These are important questions that the American people want answers to, and you're just dodging and talking around it in generalities. And we had to subpoena you to be here, and you won't even answer the questions. We've asked you repeatedly to answer our questions. This isn't hard. These are not hard questions. Have you provided us all communications from the Secret Service related to that day and that rally? Have you provided this committee? We've asked for this information on July 15th. Have you provided any of this information that this committee has asked of the Secret Service? Any of it?
I'll have to get back to you.
Have you even read this letter that we sent you? Did you even read this?
Yes.
Okay. And you have said you don't know, you have no idea. The answer is no. We haven't gotten a single document or piece of information or data from you or your agency in related to the rally that we have asked you for. So, was this attempted assassination of Donald Trump a failure of training or execution or both?
I think that those are answers that we need to
Training,
examine.
execution, or both? Which one?
I think those are answers.
All right. How many Secret Service personnel have lost their jobs due to this colossal failure?
At this time, none.
How many Secret Service personnel have been required to take a refresher course on how not to let people shoot Donald Trump?
Our personnel are currently operational. We are examining the facts of this investigation, and we will make the changes necessary.
What time did law enforcement become aware that there was an individual on the roof with a clear line of sight to President Trump?
I am still verifying timelines.
Of course, 9 days in, you have no answers. How many minutes went by between the time law enforcement saw and took photos of crooks and the
Wow, so I'm just going to give my final thoughts on this one. This was a grilling. It was nasty. Should it be this way? I don't know, but it's bad. But I think, I'll be honest, the director didn't prepare. She didn't look prepared. You would expect this kind of grilling at that level to prepare for yes or no answers. And if the things that she's saying, that they've sent messages and they had to subpoena her to come to speak, and they had requested information, and 9 days after that information hasn't been given back, then she should have been able to say, we have replied, or we acknowledge that you sent us something. We sent a letter back to say we're still doing something about it. I didn't get that from her. I also understand that she's resigned. She resigned after this hearing that was done. Details as to what really happened that day is still sketchy, but I think within the context of what happened, usually the head of that particular agency, in this case being the Secret Service, other cases being other parts of the government, would be expected to resign. It was a failure, as we all know. I'm not really comfortable with the way the grilling went, but I think it was on purpose to unsettle her, and is a tactic, like I said, that the Secret Service also use on people, regular civilians as well, to extract information that disorientate you and just bombard you with questions so that you don't even know what you're doing. So I'll leave that one here. You guys, you know the drill. Subscribe to my channel, give me a like, and share this one to as many people as possible, and I'll see you in the next one.